Hello again, YouTube world. In my previous two videos, I got a lot of questions on whether Kiely's number 17 tattoo on her rib was of occult significance or done to honor the legacy of her favorite rapper, XXXTentacion. And in this video, I want to explain why one might not necessarily differ from the other, and discuss XXXTentacion's occult legacy and his influence. In this video, we're going to go over XXXTentacion's biography. He would also be named XXXTentacion, XXXTentacion, or simply X. We are going to cover the occult beliefs he held, including his interests in Wicca and alchemy. And we're going to discuss the significance of his number 17 tattoo, among other tattoos that he had on his body. This study is based on a biography of XXXTentacion that was released in the summer of 2020. It is named Look at Me, the XXXTentacion Story, and it was authored by Jonathan Rees. It got a very warm reception from the followers of XXXTentacion. On Amazon, they wrote such reviews as, "This classic is undoubtedly essential for every X's fan. Look at Me hits every point without missing a beat and will answer every question you had on X." So XXXTentacion was a controversial rapper who emerged onto the public stage in early 2017 when a single he uploaded to SoundCloud burst from underground music circles into the mainstream. And on the right, you can see the profile picture of Kiely Rodni on SoundCloud. There, her account is listed under Kiely N, and SoundCloud was her platform of choice where she uploaded her very first and unfortunately also the very last piece of art and music, a song written in that beautiful angelic voice of hers, and it absolutely breaks my heart every time I listen to it. So the artist's name is Kiely N on SoundCloud. Please go ahead and listen. The song is beautiful. On the right-hand corner of his forehead, the rapper XXXTentacion had number 17 inked, and the interpretation is that at this young age in his life, X felt he lost his sanity. In the next slide, I'm going to explain why. The number 17 is also the name of his debut album that was released in 2017 and reached number 2 on the US Billboard 200 ranking. Let's take a quick look at the album cover. The album is called 17, and if you look to the very right over here, you can read, "My sanity left me when I was 17. My heart broke beyond repair when I was 17. I realized the pain is and will always be a circle when I was 17. And can't we all relate to that vulnerable age of 17, and it's a pretty international sentiment shared among teens all over the world. On the left, you can read the words, meditate every day, meditation and elimination, meditate, visualize, remember, liberation from everything. And the rapper indeed had a very tumultuous teenagehood and childhood. His mom, Cleopatra, was 17 when she had him, and she was in a hard spot financially. And as X himself put it, raising a kid was honestly one of her last priorities. After X turned 12, he most consistently lived with his grandmother. And he said, "My grandma really feels like my mom. My mom almost feels like more of a sister. Familiar rhetoric there, isn't it? According to his biography, X believed in reincarnation and said that the only way to get it right and not have to come back and try it all again was to live life without causing harm to others. And we have seen that reference to reincarnation and rebirth, a bit of a Buddhist or Hindu philosophy rhetoric in the 2 previous videos I made about Kiely Rodni. And to X, living that good karma, living the right way, meant that you could engage in intercourse and imbibe in substances because these things did not harm others. X believed in what he referred to as the ultimate God concept. He believed in communion with God, and he believed that that communion with God was about having a higher state of mind. X also believed in the devil, demons, spirits, and ghosts. X believed that life was about the transfer of energy. He also believed in the concept of creation evolution, and he told his fans to live life like the star of their own movie. He said it was better to be loved than feared, and on the right we can see the art made by the artist named King Jediah, whose art was highly appreciated by XXXTentacion himself. On the top of his right outer bicep, a crescent moon tattoo can be seen. And in Wicca, which is one of the belief systems that XXXTentacion was interested in and read about, in Wicca, the moon is related to Demeter, goddess Demeter as the mother, Persephone as the maiden, and Hecate as the crone, the 3 of whom represent the passage of time and the life cycle from birth to death, followed by the changing phases. And haven't we heard about that changing and transformative energy in the first 2 videos about Kylie May and her potential alleged connection to the goddess Kali Ma? The biography says that X enjoyed nonfiction books about mysticism, such as Plant Magic, A Year of Green Wisdom for Pagans and Wiccans, written by Sandra Kynes. The cover is on the right. On his forehead, X had a Tree of Life tattoo. Once on Instagram, a fan of X's asked him what the meaning was, and X replied. He said, "Leafless tree, without restraint and no burden in attachment." Again, a bit of that Buddhist rhetoric that we've already read off on the cover of his debut album. And this tattoo could also relate to Wicca, a religion or a modality X was studying, where the Tree of Life creates a bridge between earth and the divine. And we've seen quite a lot of that symbolism in the celebration of life. Please refer to video 2, which is where I cover it in depth. The biography continues. Another major cornerstone of X's interest in metaphysics and mysticism was his adherence to the universal laws, often referred to as the 12 spiritual laws. They're also known as the 12 laws of the universe, and they happen to coincide with the 12 laws of karma in Hinduism, and I think in Buddhism as well. In Hinduism, there are 3 types of karma. The first is the type you accumulate in this current lifetime. Next, the sum of all your past karmas from your previous lifetimes. And lastly, the results from current decisions you've made and actions you have taken. So these 3 types of karma can be each represented by 4 laws, which make up 12 laws of karma in total. These are the laws of cause and effect, law of creation, humility, growth, connection, focus, responsibility, giving, change, patience, and significance and inspiration. According to his biography, XXXTentacion journaled every single day, and one day his friend Illy snapped a photo of a page he'd written out that had rules in the heading. And the page reads, "Rules. Limit your company. Observe before you become comfortable. Observation in your life comes from properly analyzing things and people. The way to be safe is to be a therapist and guardian to those around you, and you will receive just the same." And based on what we heard about Kiely and about her personality, doesn't this sound like her way of life? And I just wish she followed the first two rules very, very closely, limiting and observing her company to make sure she was safe around them. On his right palm, XXXTentacion has an alchemical transmutation circle inked on. The interpretation is that XXX was intrigued with alchemy. According to his biography, he studied books on alchemy in his spare time, and this interest began from X actually being a huge fan of the anime called Full Metal Alchemist, which we're going to briefly cover in the next slides. It's just really interesting. So Full Metal Alchemist is set in the early 20th century in a fictional universe where alchemy is a widely practiced science. The Full Metal Alchemist series follows the journey of two brothers, Ed and Al, who are searching for the Philosopher's Stone to restore their bodies after a failed attempt to bring their mother back to life using alchemy. And more on this resurrection of the dead. So attempts to bring deceased human beings back to life are the most common practices to be called human transmutation in the series, and they play a significant role in the Full Metal Alchemist series. Using various experiments, the anime alchemists attempt to resurrect their dead loved ones. And in order to begin such an alchemical transmutation, a transmutation circle is necessary, and it can either be drawn on the spot. When a transmutation is necessary, it can be drawn in chalk, pencil, ink, paint, thread, blood, or dirt, or even permanently etched or inscribed beforehand. And if we look at the imagery from Kiely's memorial, I guess it could also be formed by fingers or whatever type of, occult ritual star was shown in the imagery from that event. Some other anime series that X enjoyed were Bleach, where the story follows the adventures of Ichigo Kurosaki after he obtains the powers of a Soul Reaper, and these newfound powers force him to take on guiding the departed souls to the afterlife. X also enjoyed, loved, liked the anime named Blue Exorcist. The world of the Blue Exorcist consists of two dimensions: the material world, the earth, where humans live, and the world of demons. And any demon is able to pass to the material dimension through the possession of a living being inside the material world. X also enjoyed young adult fiction, including the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd, written by Zach Brewer, who was born named Heather Brewer, and the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd is a 5-book young adult series. The names of the books really caught my mind. Number 1 was 8th Grade Bites. Number 2 and the following are 9th Grade Slays, 10th Grade Bleeds, 11th Grade Burns, and 12th Grade Kills. I I see some parallels with the case, but maybe I'm looking too deep into it. I'm also seeing like a black hoodie, a white t-shirt, and we still don't know what Kiely was wearing on her very last night. Was it white? Was it black? Was it a hoodie? Was it white, black, or gray? Who knows? Another young adult fiction book that X enjoyed is named The Marbury Lens. It's written by a different author, and it follows the story of 16-year-old Jack who gets drunk and is in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he is kidnapped. He narrowly escapes and thinks he can forget his trauma. But instead, he loses his grip on reality and believes he's part of an alternate world called Marbury, which he can see through the magic glasses that he now has on him. Again, I see some interesting parallels with drunk / kidnapped, allegedly 16-year-olds. Just a lot of the same storytelling there. When XXX was asked what was important to him, the most common answers were loyalty, which was actually another tattoo. I think it was on his left bottom, like skull bone. And X also said that the most important thing for him were his fans, which he didn't necessarily use that word directly. He just said, the only people that suffice for me and offer me the support is you guys, my people. I feel very attached to you. I don't want to call it a family because I effing hate that. I like to call it a cult. And I think X steps away from the concept of family because he was so uncomfortable within his own family. But then the word cult kind of catches my attention. And I'm not a follower of X. So maybe if you guys know more about it, please let me know in the comments. It's just that the word caught my attention. That's it. And if you find it odd that Kiely had number 17 tattooed on her ribs and passed away shortly before her 17th birthday on the 8th month of the year, look at this, you guys. XXX died at 20 years old in 2018, 10 days after his death, and on the day of his funeral. Video for his track named SAD was released, and I will link it down below in the description of the video. It is really trippy because you can see X wearing a black t-shirt. Its color saying BAD, bad, in capital letters kind of over and over again. In this video, he approaches his own casket and sees himself laying there. And then a bit of a fist fight ensues between XXX in his black t-shirt and then XXX laying down in the coffin, and then X is seen laying his coffin X down to rest, and these are the closing moments of the video, and a note can be seen which says, "People change, things change, and so did I. As long as the outcome is good for myself and family, I'm not complaining." And in my own opinion, for education and entertainment purposes only, allegedly, this links quite a bit to the Truckee way. I'm not complaining. I'm not contacting law enforcement if the outcome is good for my own self and my community. So in this presentation, I used quite a bit of art created by King Jedediah, who is a visual artist that X regularly touted. And King Jedediah is famous for painting some of the most iconic portraits of X. And another visual artist that XXX would compliment a lot was Adam and Guns, an artist whose style is an amalgam of anime art and new school tattooing, and his YouTube channel is linked bottom right. Please check him out. It's named Gaunt's Art with X's on both sides of his name. As my closing words today, I would like to use a quote from XXXTentacion. We need good mothers. We need good fathers. We need people with sources of knowledge. Let's make it not cool to be stupid. Let's make it cool to be a good person. I could also not make this video without mentioning the DV allegations against XXXTentacion. On this note, being physically hurt in any way by your partner is absolutely not your fault, and it is also never okay. If you feel humiliated, trapped, or controlled by a partner, did you know that you can reach the DV hotline not only through their website that I'm going to link below, but you can also confidentially and anonymously text them 5 letters START start to the number 88788, and you will be met by the most understanding people on the other side. They get it that escaping a situation like that takes time and strategy. They will not expect you to run to a shelter without your kids or documents on night 1. They will help you create a personalized, step-by-step escape plan, which will ensure the safety of your children, your own self, your pets, your documents, and your belongings. They will do it absolutely for free. If you are under any sort of digital surveillance by your partner, this is a sign of, you know what, YouTube would not let me use the right words, but it's not okay. Message start to 88788. You can always delete the conversation, block the number until you're ready to talk to them again when the time is safe. I'm going to link the website down below. It offers a vast toolkit of identifying what DV and emotional V consists of. If you're not yet ready to reach out to a hotline, my email is linked below. You can contact me from a fake address, and I will walk you through the steps of how the hotline might help you. And I know what it's like, and I assure you, just trust me, the first morning you wake up, when you're out of that situation, it will feel like a huge, heavy, painful brick has fallen off of your chest, and you can breathe in like that freely for the very first time. I get it. Please reach out to them. Reach out to me. You are not alone. Being hurt it's not okay. It's not the norm. It happens way too often, but it doesn't make it normal. And of course, thank you all guys for your comments, support, and encouragement to keep on keeping on with the content. I hope this was helpful in connecting more dots in the Kiely Rodni case. I am sharing my observations for educational and entertainment purposes only, not accusing anybody in this video, and I have never visited Truckee and any of its communes or communities. Stay safe out there. Once again, here are the contacts if you need them. Also, my email is linked down below. I'll talk to you in code, whatever it takes. But the earlier you address the situation, the higher is your chance to get out alive. And is very, very serious. It's not a joke. You have time. You have time to make a plan. You have time to create a strategy, but just don't delay it. Don't delay it. I love you all so much. Hugs and best wishes, and have an amazing weekend, y'all.